It's the Chicago Bulls facing the Golden State Warriors. And here it comes, the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan along with Stan Van Gundy and Greg Anthony. On the sidelines, it's David Aldridge. And it's going to be the Bulls right off the tip. Buzelis, no one around him. True on the 14-footer. And looking at tonight's contest, Coach, why are both teams so good rebounding?
Well, I'd like to say it's great coaching, Kevin. You know, I always give those guys credit. But in reality, both teams do have a philosophy to go after the ball, and both these teams have tough, active people who are committed to getting as many extra possessions as they possibly can.
And you can't win in this league unless you can rebound, right?
Well, especially on the defensive end, Kevin. You've got to be able to keep the other team off the glass. At the offensive end, it sort of varies from team to team.
And not the most common call you'll see in the NBA, but hard to argue that pick wasn't illegal.
Yeah, and that's maybe something that should be called more. We see a lot of moving screens in today's NBA.
Butler feeling out of it. To the inside. Pass to Podziemski. Some nice passing by Golden State here. Here's Curry. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. And many around the league believe Curry doesn't get enough fouls called in his favor. G.A., what do you think?
There could be some truth to that. He gets held and grabbed more than anyone when running off screens, but especially blatant on drives to the rim. And you know with Curry, what impresses me most is his efficiency. That's not something we normally see in a high-volume jump shooter.
Now here's Giddey. Outside, White. Beyond the arc. Green with the rebound. With a short break in the action, gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Well, I talked with head coach Steve Kerr. Dealing with Lonzo Ball's playmaking was at the front of his mind. He told me Lonzo's a tremendous decision maker, so we've got to be quick to close off the passing lanes. We can't let him create easy baskets. The goal is to keep Ball's impact as a playmaker down to a minimum. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, David. Butler with the steal. It's stolen by Vucevic. And here's the fast break. Ball leading the way. Shoots. White. Good. And what's your take, guys, on the hustle stats for the Bulls?
Well, so far they've done a great job of reading the offense and repeatedly putting themselves in the right place to interrupt the play and force turnovers.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet weren't set on that screen. Easy call.
Look, you can get away with a lot in terms of screens today. You can't make it that obvious.
And the timeout called here by Billy Donovan. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team. Chicago making a switch here.
Show them some love and make some noise for your DS Breakers.
Chicago with the ball. You know, Stan, I've always thought that your path, kind of like Billy Donovan's, going from the college game to the pro game, both enjoying success, very, very similar paths.
Except for one thing, Kevin. Billy could actually play. I couldn't. So, you know.
Well, you're not being fair to yourself now. Come on.
Billy was a great college player, and I think, Kevin, Billy Donovan's the most underrated coach in the NBA. This guy's a surefire Hall of Famer, back-to-back national titles in college, and then you look at the consistent success he has had in the NBA with teams. This guy is as good as anyone in the country, heck, anyone in the world coaching basketball.
Well said. And Nikola Vucevic is going to pick up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
Second team foul.
Here's Moody. There's 1:54 left in the first quarter of the game. Down low. 5 on the clock. The kick outside to Butler. There's the 3. Rebound by the Bulls. Now here's Giddey. No scoring in this one. Good on the shot.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Once he gets in deep on the defense, there is no way he's missing a layup like that.
Here's Ball. Green with the rebound. Warriors trailed by 4. Here's Butler going inside. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
An assertive penetrator. Love watching Butler use that athleticism to drive and finish inside.
Smith for 3. That's a no-go, and he's still looking for his first bucket after 2 shots. Curry with a wide-open look. And they're unable to get the tying basket there. And so it's Giddey with it. He brings it up for the Bulls. Pass to Smith. Out to the right wing. Ball with a wide-open look. Sinks the triple.
And Ball, such a high IQ player. Superb at knowing when to take that triple.
And here is Moody. 12 seconds left to play here in the first. Now here's Butler. Over Smith. And too long on the shot.
Well, the analytics don't like it, but if the defense is giving it up, I like that shot selection despite the miss.
And that does it for the first quarter. It's Chicago. They're up by 5. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And if you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter in this one. And guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
I mean, offensively, I thought they did a good job of protecting the ball. And defensively, boy, were they disruptive.
Well, their defense was incredible. Wreaking havoc and coming up with steals left and right. Just a tremendous effort.
And here is Curry. Butler in the corner. And a miss there on the triple. The Bulls leading by 5. Gregson's reaching 5 consecutive NBA Finals. The Warriors have missed the playoffs 3 of the past 5 years.
And to be fair, they did go 46-36 last season. They were 10 games over 500 last year. So they weren't a bad team, but Golden State doesn't just expect to be in the play-in. They want to be a contender.
Dalen Terry.
And with an update from the sidelines, let's check in with David Aldridge.
Kevin, a couple of seasons ago, Steph Curry first brought out the night-night when he put a team away. Asked about his inspiration, he said, "I have no idea. I don't choreograph any of that stuff. I was just having fun." You know how kids' bedtime routines are important? It's the final signal for job well done that day. Kevin?
Well said. He is a 1 of 1, D.A. And so here is Golden State. The Bulls knocking down the 3. Pass to Podziemski. Wide open. Moody's shot is off.
Well, the defense just dared him to take that one. Poor execution on their part, but they got lucky.
Here's Herder. Clock at 6. Smith outside. Good. And the nice assist for Williams.
Three-pointer.
Smith's got the lead up to 11 now for the Bulls.
And for the defense, that is a heart-sinking moment when you see him that wide open from beyond the arc.
Now, here's Moody. Scoreless thus far. And the rejection by Smith. Pass to Buzelis. An easy 2 points on the layup. Stan, I've always admired you. Come from a coaching family. Was there a point growing up you knew you wanted to be a coach?
Yeah, I loved being around the game. And so 2 things happened that drove me into coaching. Number one, I loved baseball and I couldn't hit one. So that was out. And I wasn't a good enough basketball player to go on that way. So if I wanted to stay involved in the game, that's when I knew I wanted to be a coach.
But your dad had a little bit of that in his background. I say in a little kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? He was a guy that led the way in your interest.
Yeah, my dad coached for over 40 years, and I think he had a great passion for it and always used to tell us that he never actually felt like he worked a day in his life. He loved it so much.
Following in his footsteps. Terrific story. And the Warriors with possession here after the Bulls pick up 2. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Dan, you know, you think about Jimmy Butler, and you and I are fans of his game. Talk about a guy who calls it like he sees it, though. My goodness.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Look, Jimmy's never going to hold back. He'll call out his teammates. He'll call out opponents. He'll call out the referees. This guy acts with no fear.
Just don't call out the broadcasters, right? We want to stay out of his range.
And he would have no reason to.
Exactly. Warriors trail by 14. Podziemski on the wing. To the middle. Green left side. Back to Podziemski. And the Warriors miss again. And here are the Bulls now. They're on a 10-1 run. Williams. Count that one. And the Bulls lead by 16.
And when the score is as lopsided as it is, and you can see they smell blood in the water, that man is going for the jugular. Great work inside by Curry there. So clever and composed in the paint.
Pass to Herder. Outside, White. Three-pointer. No good. Shot missing. And it's the Warriors with the ball. Here's Curry. 6 points for him. Outside, Butler. Back to Curry. Now here's Butler. Tries the spin move. Here's Podziemski. And it's White with the rebound. The Bulls leading by 14. There's 48 seconds left in the first half. Here's Williams. And Williams throws it down.
And just running the offense. White's that new breed of combo guard who can do a little bit of everything.
Curry attacking. Oh, and he blocks it off the glass. Wow. Pass to White. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. And it goes on Draymond Green.
A longer guard, 6'5" White, doing a nice job inside.
And both free throws good for White. 27 seconds left here in the second. And the foul called on Josh Giddey. That's his first foul.
Second team foul.
23 seconds left to play here in the half. Curry on the wing. Barnes with the block. And here's the fast break. Paul leading the way. The Bulls with another miss. With the drive. So as we conclude the first half, so far fairly one-sided. It's Chicago as they end the second quarter with a massive 16-3 run. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter. Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. Warriors trail by 18. Butler with the ball. Here's Curry with the three. Rebounded by Vucevic.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Giddey. Count that one. Giddey's got the first points of the second half here for Chicago.
Terrific play call to give him a clean look at the rim. That's how you want to start the second half.
Yeah, I like how they're establishing their interior presence right away. That's going to collapse the defense and create other opportunities.
Not many guys with Butler's build have his skill set inside.
When it comes to players who like having fun, Greg, Jimmy Butler has to be way up there.
Kevin, did you see his media picture for the 23-24 season? He looked like he belonged in an emo band with that hairstyle. Jimmy is definitely one of those guys that likes to troll and have fun.
Here's Curry. After Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. 6 to shoot. And Vucevic pulls it down. Bulls leading by 20. Up top, Giddey. 6 points for him. Pass to White. Launches a three. Draymond Green with the rebound. And it's the Warriors with the ball. Takes it inside.
Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike. And so it's Giddey with it. He brings it up for the Bulls. Outside, ball. Bulls moving the ball around. A steal. Curry with it. Now guarded by Vucevic. Pass to Moody. Back to Butler. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Launches it. It's all in by the Bulls. Outside, ball. And here's White. Back to ball. And the call will be against Lonzo Ball. That is his first foul of the game.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Warriors trailed by 18. And we know injuries derailed last season for the Bulls, Greg, but with an aging core, you wonder where they go from here.
I mean, the Bulls are kind of stuck in the middle of things as it now stands. Not quite good enough to make a run in the East, but not in a position where they need to start over.
Right now, I send it over to the sidelines and get a report from David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, Bulls coach Billy Donovan keeps perspective. He says, I used to come back from a tough road loss, go straight to the office and pull an all-nighter, trying to figure out what went wrong. My highs were too high and my lows were too low. You have to realize so much of it is just luck, the breaks of life. Kevin?
That's right, D.A. We respect Billy Donovan as much as any coach in the NBA. But a good outlook there, you're right. Hey, thank you. And the timeout called by Billy Donovan. looking for a breather, and maybe just one or two things to talk about. And we've got a timeout called by Steve Kerr. Wants to talk some things over, might be seeing some things to adjust. And we've got a timeout called by Steve Kerr. He wants to check in with his team and regroup.